Just in Sanliurfa now, in the back of a taxi on the way to Gobekli Tepe. So, an exciting place. A place I've always wanted to visit. More so than the pyramids maybe. I think it's a bit more interesting because it's about 7,000 years older than the pyramids of Giza. So let's see what it's like. The taxi just stopped now to get air in the tyres. Very different to the rest of Turkey, to the other parts that I've been. It feels like I'm in the Middle East here. It's much hotter. I suppose it kind of is the Middle East. It's just right on the Syrian border. And they even look different with darker skin and bigger, thicker eyebrows. What's that? Agronomist in my text too. Oh, I don't understand. I don't know. I don't understand that. Agronomist in my text. Using the dictionary or the translator. Can't understand it, but nice farmland around here. Looking at this ancient land, as you get closer and closer to the site, you see more and more rock and stone. Very interesting. Okay, so the hotel ordered a taxi for me. It's 150 lira for a return, so which is about 15 euros. The taxi waits for you. They say you only need about an hour, which was surprising because I thought I'd be spending a few hours here. But even the guys in the hotel, like, yeah, they said an hour should be enough. So yeah, he's waiting an hour, 15 euros. I'll give him a tip, don't you worry. It's actually way smaller than I was expecting. See, there's only a really small part of this site that is being excavated. They're still working on it, but it seems they're working on it quite slowly. So I got the audio guide. Why not? The first thing they tell you is just to reference the timing, just to give you a good idea that this was at the end of the Ice Age when they actually, these hunter-gatherers came to this land. And then moving on, it explains how they survived, and then you see why they came to this part of the world, the Middle East. I think also known as this line here is the Fertile Crescent, they call it. It was just where it was rich in water and animals, and the temperatures were much better than elsewhere. Nice to see Eric Cantona here. Fine head of hair on him. Some of the tools used by the archaeologists here. It says 2-inch brush, paintbrush there. I think they could do a bit better than that one, to be honest. I wouldn't paint a shed with it. I should add, I am a painter, a decorator. That's what I do for a living, which is hence the remark. Too scary. I must say, like, the system they have here is pretty bad. No one speaks English. So where I was just walking around there, that's just a little museum. I thought I'd keep following, working my way down and end up at the site. But then she said, is this a... No, she told me to go this way, but I don't know if she understood what I was asking. I want to see the archaeological site of Gobekli Tepe. And I've already been here 20 minutes and I'm nowhere near it. And I only have 1 hour, so 40 minutes left. So it turns out you need a shuttle bus. Madness. So if you only have an hour like I do, don't waste your time in the museum. So you walk up the road a bit and there's a waiting area here for the shuttle buses. Oh, and I think you said 1 kilometre. I understand they want to teach you a bit of history before you go. There was very little teaching in that tiny museum, to be honest. If you already have an idea of what this place is, don't go near. Just get your ticket and be off on the bus straight away. You can see it just at the top of the hill there. Here's the way I like to think about these things. In an hour's time, I'll have broadened my horizons. My world will be that much bigger than it was before, with the experience of seeing a great place like this, the world's oldest known structure or religious structure, dated back to a time when humans weren't supposed to be building these structures. To this day it's very still baffling to archaeologists. It's fascinating really. Here we go. You can tell you're in a very, very ancient place, all this rock and stone everywhere. If it was a bit more green, it would look like parts of Ireland. Here we go. Okay, the mask comes on again. Around people. I'm actually going to walk up further to see if there's anything else that's as interesting, because I don't have much time, and then I'll come back and talk about this. So here are the archaeologists excavating. Has this been going on since 1993? Is this just for show, for tourists? Because I mean, looking at them here right now, you'd imagine they're only starting. But the fact that it was discovered in 1993 by a German, Klaus Smith was his name. He died a few years ago. Poor guy, he's boiling. Look at that sweat. I mean, it's bad enough for me. He's out in the sun the whole time. Oh yeah. Yeah, so building D, this is the main site that they've done the most work on. Apparently the whole site is so much bigger than this. So 12,000 years old, religious structures. Changed everything we thought we knew about human history, human civilization. The pyramids are like 4,500 years old. Stonehenge, 5,000 years. Newgrange in Ireland, over like 5,200 years old. This is 12,000 years old. When you put that in perspective, the gap between now and say Stonehenge, 5,000 years, compared to the gap between here and Stonehenge, 7,000 years. Like, we think of the people that built Stonehenge as like these ancient people, like the beginning of civilization, or the beginning of, like, say, when humans start to come together in groups and build. But 7,000 years earlier, they were doing it here in today's Turkey. The big T structures, I believe, represent the god. When you look closer, you can see the art. You can see, I think it's a fox on this one here. They also have snakes and boars. I don't know why, but I thought I could probably go in closer and get proper pictures of the animals, of the carvings. But maybe that's because I was watching documentaries of archaeologists when they were right in there doing that. They wouldn't be wise letting people like me in there anyways. For anyone that's interested in, like, the history of human civilizations, it changes everything. We're going way further back than we thought it was. A lot of books had to be scrapped over this place. A lot of archaeologists had to rethink, accept that everything they'd learned was wrong, just by a few thousand years, that's all. I believe in years to come there will be so much more excavation done on this area. I don't really know why they haven't bothered to do much until today. Maybe more public interest will change that. Another very interesting thing about Gobekli Tepe is that they reckon they were here for about 3,000 years, and then they cut covered it in themselves. So they tried to hide it. Which is why it was only discovered, I suppose, 9,000 years later. So they did a good job. And because they filled it all in, that's why you can still see it hasn't eroded. It's still in good condition. Maybe that was the idea. Maybe they knew by filling it in, like thousands of years later, people could come and see it. But to this day, like, we still don't know the meaning. We don't know exactly what was going on here. We do know people didn't live here. It was just a religious structure. And then also the farming started afterwards in the surrounding area. So there's no farming or anything like that. No settlements, just this. And then the settlements came later. And how it was discovered, it was like a mountain. And that it was a mountain that looked like a pot belly. And that's how it got its name, Gobekli Tepe, which means pot belly. I'd love to get down there. A proper look. I'm sorry if this video is just me blabbering on, but it is really just this and me explaining what this is. So what else can I do? Can't really make it more exciting, can I? I can take my shirt off and do it. You can enjoy watching all the people behind me like going, what's this fella doing? See a European looking guy here, and yeah. I'm trying to hear his accent. I think it's an Austrian university, maybe, that's funding the excavation of this site. Hey there, man. There's another fella, he looks local. I think I heard, like, in the surrounding area, maybe for miles around, it's the same thing, so there's so much excavation needs to be done. But to think this is it, like, this is as far back as we know that we can go. Well, the oldest place in the world where people got together and organised and built something together. Hundreds of people. Those rocks weigh tons, and those rocks came from, I think, 2 kilometres away. How the hell did they get them here? If you're looking for something amazing, if you're comparing with the pyramids or something like that, it's going to be underwhelming. You have to remember, it's all the wind. Where's the wind coming? Okay. You have to remember, this is recently discovered. Now, I say recently, 1993, but in the grand scheme and in the big picture, it's not very long. It's a good experience. 1 hour is enough. How long are we going back? Are we going back now? Do we have to wait?
Yeah, 5 minutes.
5 minutes, grand. 5 minutes, wait for the bus to fill up a bit. That's it, my taxi driver's still waiting for me. He can take me back to the Hilton. I'm staying in the Hilton Hotel. It's only 33 euros. So that's about 330 Turkish lira. So remember that, if you come to Sanliurfa, the Hilton Hotel is quite cheap. I even booked a second night. I was only supposed to stay 1 day. I go for a swim at the swimming pool now when I go back. And then later I watch a bit of football. I survived. Thank you. Thanks for waiting. Poor fella's sitting here over an hour, like. Oh, there he goes. So it was 150 lira. I gave him 200. So it's like a €5 tip. He was very happy with it. Back in the Hilton Hotel. It's not the best Hilton you'll ever see, but 30 euros, 33 euros.